provinces. Great world's fairs were remnants of their cities. Across this nation once stood many centers of black commerce, not one Wall Street, but many. These communities were connected by trade, by innovation, by grand world fairs. They represented an older world still alive, and that continuity frightened those who sought control. So those centers were dismantled, their prosperity erased by the very forces that later claimed to civilize this nation. The word American describes the people of the copper-colored race. Its original heirs, the original nobility of this country, are the so-called black Americans. They are heirs to histories older than myth.
The black people are the real Indians, not the Asian-looking casino-owning people. Let's be real, folks. Black Americans are the true American Indians. It's amazing how people believe the fabricated stories. Look at the murals in Mexico or the historical accounts of the Virginia Indians. All of the state encyclopedias describe who they were. It's obvious.
All these different infections and shit, I thought that was us. So why we ain't on this bitch getting checked the fuck out? Because we not Africans. No, we was already here. This ain't got shit to do with Africa. Africa is an immigrant. I thought they said this was you. I thought they said this was your ancestors. I still don't see no black people. Have you seen some black folks yet? There is a saying that my grandmother used to say. She used to call Slavic people or pale people white gold, because she said that they were our slaves first. They used to call them white gold. Remember you were asking about the Irish? Remember you asked about the Russians? Maybe. But all of this going to be in your history books, because your first volume of your own history books is going to be out Friday. Everything that you see is going to be in your books. I got you, my kings and queens. You are royalty. You are here. This is your fucking land. Because we want our people to know what the fuck they are and who the fuck they are and who is the invaders. As you can see, how many different cultures do you see just off of all of these pictures on all of these different immigrants that's still here today? I see Amish, bam, Irish. I see the people that do the bulls, Mexican. I see African. I see Europeans. I see Russians. I see Dominicans. I see Native Americans, the Hispanics, the Venezuelans. When they celebrate, they're in their attire, but yet they're all immigrants. All of this is public knowledge. So why the fuck don't you know this? Why was you never ever taught about them in school?
Yeah.
But you were taught about slavery. You was taught about the invasion. You was taught about all that shit that happened to you. We were never taught that these people were immigrants. Just like they said, we're predominantly the people that's in jail, and we ain't. Why is the jailhouses suing the states just because they breached their contract to not put us in there like y'all wanted us to be? Now it's different laws that got passed to where it's mostly pale people in jail right now. But them high ones, oh no, baby, that's these people. Don't put that on us. Read it, share it. We was mad too. We thought we was monkeys. We thought we was apes. We thought we was chimpanzees and shit. Whoa, ain't that your ancestor? You got your own coins. You had your own coins right up here. They know exactly who the fuck you is, man. You cannot forget about the creed. Yeah, so like I said, y'all share this out because they know exactly who you are, babe. They know exactly who you are. They know exactly who we are. Queens. They know exactly who you are, babe. They know exactly who you are, my kings and queens. They know exactly who you are. They just like to. Looks like Alexander the Great, the second, huh? And Nicholas what? They know exactly who he is, baby. Like I said, it's public knowledge. They know exactly who we are. They know exactly who you is. Huh. They just try to act like they don't. They just try to act like they don't. Hawaii. Royalty. Looks like black folks to me. Oh, because we just seen all of the immigrants that came over on the boat, right? So we know we were here first. We just seen the evidence of all of the immigrants that came over on a boat. They knew exactly who we were. Before New York became New York, before Ohio became Ohio, before Mexico became Mexico, before Peru became Peru. Looks like niggas to me. And this was before. Africa is the new world, baby. We're the old world. Respectfully. Because the compass is flipped upside down. And if you know that the compass is flipped upside down, then it would make very much sense that we would be India Superior. We would be Ordnance, which is the real East. If you've never seen the compass before, don't be upset with me. And another one. History is in the Bible. But this is before the Bible. We have a before Christ era. We have an AD era. We have a CE era. So how is my history in your Bible? When your Bible comes from a tablet, right? And my history comes from tablets. They found them before Jesus. When Christopher Columbus clearly said it was India Superior. He said that he seen us. Okay? Hold on. You cannot be on the front of a seal unless you have your own government and own nation. You cannot be on the front of a seal if you ain't got your own government and own nation. And remember, Florida used to be so big. Florida was huge as fuck. Florida was huge. What does that say? What does that say? Huh? Because everywhere you go in a minute, you're going to be looking crazy. This is exactly how Christopher Columbus said that we were dressed when he came to the island. Put that number again. What year did Christopher Columbus come over here? In 14 what? So, that is way before signing the Declaration of Independence. That's way before America was even formed. Christianity didn't come until the 1700s. Established in when? Exactly. If she's not real, why is she in the Bible?
Oh, wow.
I thought she wasn't real.
Yes.
But yet, wasn't she in your tablets? Wait, wasn't she in your tablets? Isn't she in your Bible? Isn't she in Exodus chapter 14, verse 1 through 30? Miss Queen Khalifa's in your Bible. She was in your tablets that your explorers found with your Jesus, with your God, with all of Moses. Who do you think was chasing Moses out of Egypt? Who was the warrior queen? Who was who she is?
Cinema Kush. How's that for TikTok learning and Instagram learning for your ass? Putting them comments under my videos. Get your life.
I thought she wasn't real, baby. And she's a fucking Indian. She's an indigenous Indian. Look up the Empire of Kai. X-I or X-Men. Hyperborean giant. I thought she wasn't real. I thought Queen Khalifa wasn't real.
Lying.
And remember, we had already said, right? Remember, we had already said that we was the real Muslims, but Muslims. What that say right there? And we were white. Huh? This is not a fucking game. They took everything from us.
Everything.
Every fucking thing. We are the original Muslims, not Muslims. We're gonna get into my proof of that in a minute too.
Everybody took our culture. It was like a
tap that screen, baby.
Like, who does this? Take a whole.
Hold on, let's go. Let's go.
They took
I love this for them.
Of our lives.
I love this for them.
Ancestors' lives. It wouldn't have
I love this for them.
Just take the land.
I love this for them.
All of them called Clan.
Don't argue with nobody because we're making people mad. Because people that were thought that they were superior beings are actually in here finding out that they're not. You see what I'm saying? And people that thought that they knew their history, now they're finding out that they have been lied to too. They thought it was only the black folks that were being lied to. Now they are literally finding out that every race on this fucking planet was lied to.
The Civil Rights Act of 1968, Martin Luther King was not fighting for black rights. He was fighting for Indian rights. It's labeled under Indian Civil Rights Act, Indian Bills of Rights Act, the Free Housing Act. Because you know why? We didn't want to go to reservations. Like the Native Americans, the fake Asians, they put them on the reservations. You see what that say? Housing Right Acts. They sent the motherfucking Indians to the projects. That was our reservations. You better learn something today. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn to stop playing with our people's history, man. We've been through too much for people to be lying on us. It's us that went through this shit. It's us. It's nobody else. It's us.
Facts.
If y'all don't know this book, you can screenshot it. It comes from the Library of Congress. And this one's called Despotism in America, an inquiry into the nature and results of slaveholding systems in the United States. Because slave don't mean what you think it means. Watch this. The relation of master and slave, like most other kinds of despotism, first of all, you know what despotism is. It's an experiment. When these evil people do these things to us, they have to write them down. Because it's despotism. You don't know what that is. Look it up. The relations of master and slave, like most other kinds of despotism, has its origins in war. So the only how you ever get master and slave, you gotta go to war. By the confessions of his warmest defenders, slavery is at its best a substitute for homicide. So they just unaliving people for no fucking reason at this point. Savages take no prisoners, and those they do take, they first torture, then devour. Delectable Negroes, they was eating us in slavery. But I don't know if y'all knew that or not. But yes, they was eating us. But when the arts of life have made some progress, the value of labor began to be understood. It is presently discovered that to eat prisoners is not the most profitable use to which they can be put. So accordingly, their lives are spared, and they are compared to labor for the benefit of their captors. Such is the origins of slavery. It was formerly a practice in America to sell as slaves. So the people wasn't slaves. To sell as slaves such Indian prisoners that was captured during the frequent war raids with the Aboriginal inhabitants, who were the only people slaves in America. If these are the native people, why they going to Indian training school? Who they trying to copy? Know your history and stop erasing our history. This is almost the same as you're going to the army to train to be a soldier because you don't know shit about being a soldier. Because they was brought from fucking Asia to America to Ellis Island to take our place because we the real Indians, like I just read to you. They only called the Indians in the war raids because they was prisoners of war. We were slaves. Wouldn't it be slave camps around here? Why is prisons around here? Because we are prisoners of war. And these are the fake Asian immigrants that came to take our place. You're talking to a chief that know the truth. Know your history. Stop mixing this African stuff in with us. That's why Native American names didn't get core until 1960, after Civil War. That's when they came out. They was the colonizers. They was helping the Europeans capture us. They are the slave patrol.
Is that as far as you can go?
If my people go way back to the 1600s, 1680s, what are you talking about? I thought they had slave trades in 1619. So that means if they was here in 1680, their grandparents go back to 1500s. What are you talking about? Before, this is pre-Columbia. Go back to the 1400s. What? You still not gonna believe it.
Okay,
So what's proving to you anything? You're still gonna be like, well, it was something back in 1000 BC. If the first people came to America was the Spaniard and Portuguese came to enslave us, who the hell taught us English? Because they're Spanish. It's a known fact that Spain and Portuguese came to America. It's a known fact they came here first. Wait, and you see what it says on here? Indian citizen, the color is a Negro, he's a black Indian. We got documents where all my people got checked Indian citizens on all my paperwork. So I know who I am. And all this is in the National Archives. See, like all the information, I just went to 1870 right quick. You have to understand that to be indigenous to the land, your people would be in the National Archives. This is where you find the information. This is how you know that you're indigenous. They won't put immigrants in the National Archives. If you guys still want to be colonized on that level, why do y'all come and bother us when we kick a non-indigenous shit? So if you want to be an African slave, go hang with the African slaves. And then y'all can kumbaya. Don't come to us with the BS, because I'm kicking this shit to my people that we already know we locked in. We are growing. You want to be black? Guess what? That don't tie you to this land. Y'all keep minding American Indian business. This has nothing to do with y'all. This is Europeans coming over asking these people who's the head of the house and how much land they own. So if these people are slaves, how the hell they own land before the fucking Europeans? The black people that y'all call black, which is the Indians, are the only people that own America. They the only people that got the land patents and the deeds of America. Nobody else has. And then if you see the census, it says place of birth, naming state, territory, U.S., or country, or foreign birth. All of my family comes from Florida and Georgia area. Native born to this land, and they have always been here. They're asking these people who's head of the house and who owns this land, because later on, that's how they took it. You gotta understand, nobody else have land patents to this land besides the so-called black people that was colonized, that was reclassified from the 1924 Integrity Act by Walter Plecker, that worked for Vital Statistics. He was the head of all health departments, so he was changing our shit on our birth certificate to Negro. When these people came to this land, they was asking these people who they are. That's why they had to write this shit down. And when you look at it, these are the original people of this land, the so-called black people. Truthfully honest, in the Black Laws Dictionary, black means to be pale. Because this is only how they stole the land, when they recognized who owned the land. Through the fucking census. This is how they got the names. Native Americans don't own the land. I can show you the law right now. Leslie versus McIntosh clearly says the land that's used by the Native Americans, which is the Asian I just showed you, went to Indian training school. The land that they're owning with the casinos, they don't own, is owned by the United States government. They're just renting it and using it out. Because Native Americans can't own no land because they're immigrants. Just like Africans, when they come here, they can't own no land because they're immigrants. Just like everybody else, the Mexicans, the Spanish, they can't own this land because they're immigrants. The only people that's not immigrants is the so-called black Americans. Why you think they're not getting deported? Why you think the Native Americans getting deported right now by ICE? Because they're not indigenous to this land. This is the reason why we can't be deported. Because if you don't know or not, we the only ones with a birth certificate. Everybody else got tribal cards and other green cards and visas to be on this land. We the only ones with the real live birth certificates. I just want to show y'all this book for y'all that didn't believe me that they was eating us during slavery. Right, YTs definitely should be getting deported. They're the first one. Homo eroticism? What? Oh my God. Come on, man. That's basically like raping. Come on, man. U.S. slave culture? These people are eating us. You gotta know the truth, man.
They don't care because they
got Nat Turner, and they say they had 8 Nat Turner.
They don't want to understand they're our ops. Recognize an op when you see one and hear one and move accordingly.
White people was the slaves. We was never the slaves. White cargo, go read it. You will find out who they brought over here to America for real. They came from Africa. It was the whites. That's why they on boats. If you think about it, Europe is part of Africa. During the war, they brought over here as slaves picking cotton. I got all these pictures of the white people in the fields picking cotton. So you got the story all wrong. Asian slaves in colonial Mexico, Chinos to Indians. This is how they went to Indian training school. This is when they turned to Indians. Because they got packed up by the Spanish people, the Asians. Everybody keep talking about the transatlantic slave trade. It's a damn lie. It's not even called that. You're talking about the Middle Passage. So tell me how two slave trades happened at the same time. So did y'all ever learn in school about the Trans-Pacific slave trade, primarily run by the Spanish from the 16th century to the 18th century? Don't that sound familiar? Ain't at the same time the transatlantic slave trade supposed to be happening? Because the real truth is, what happened? They forcibly enslaved the people of Asia, Philippines, India, East, South Asia, in Africa, across the Pacific to Mexico. Yet they lie to you, but I'll pull up a cruise fare right now. You can't even catch a fucking cruise from Africa to America right now in 2025.
Still can't take a boat.
So how the hell we came from Africa? People, let me show you the 12.5 million people that came over here. So it was 12.5 million white servitude slaves that came to America. Because ain't it the same number they said about the transatlantic slave trade? Didn't they say 12.5 million Africans came to America? Don't y'all find this ironic? Don't this sound like reverse roles? Somebody is lying. If they came on boats, all these people are immigrants. So who own America again? Okay then. The so-called Black Americans, who they label as Black Americans, is really the Aboriginal inhabitants, who's really the indigenous Indians. And you can tell because on every census form, you know what they put by it? Inhabitants. If you know what inhabitants mean, it means they sprung from the earth. They wasn't brought from nowhere. These are all the places you can look up these, all the information about the Papal Bulls. It was a European legal authorization. And you see, all this come from the Pontifex, the Catera, all this stuff is hidden in the Vatican. And as you see, they got all the records. I'm going to show you something. They got all the records hidden these. You can look up these books. And this is the year that they sent the Papal Bulls to these lands. But let me show you something. See, 1403? You see right here? See right here, the Pope Nicholas authorized enslavement of Saracens. And that's what old boy was just talking about. And pagan and unbelievers. So what they was doing, the Pope was sending out the Spanish and the Romans to the lands. So whoever wasn't a Christian, that's who they was unaliving and taking their lands from. So slavery don't mean what y'all think it means. It comes from Rome. And look what it say. Granted portal perpetual rights to seize land and enslave people. This is where all the information is coming from. The Pontifex, the Catera, these are the Catholic, it was backed by the Catholic Church. It's called the Church Decrees, which equals the Papal Bulls. This is why they was going out taking over people's land. So this is why I'm trying to tell you, when they came to America, they wasn't coming with no slaves, they was coming for war. It don't make sense to bring them slaves to America if you already colonized that land. And these all the documents, you can go look up on them. This is all the documents. The indigenous slave trade. This is called the Indian slave trade that happened right here. You can go look up Alan Gallay. This is a book called The Indian Slave Trade. That's the author right there, Alan Gallay. He's talking about all the slave trade, the Indian slave trade that happened in America when they came over here. And Andre Resendez, that's the author of the book, The Other Slavery, and Roxanne Dunbar, and Indigenous People History of United States. It's talking about us, the Black Indians. South Carolina Assembly records from 1670 to the 1700s. Laws regulating the sale of Indian slaves. Who the only person was sold in America? As slaves, man. Thank you. These all the places. Look, Barbados shipping benefits. Listing Indian Negroes export from the Carolinas. How the Indian slave trade happened? They would go to South Carolina, Virginia, and they would send those Indians to the islands. And then they would take the Indians from Florida to California, California to Mississippi, Mississippi to Oklahoma. So they was selling us as slaves in our own homeland.
Yes.
And if you don't believe me, all this comes from New England probate records. You can look all this up in the British National Archives. When you leave, type this shit in. South Carolina Assembly records. Because they got all those records right here in America. And the National Archives of who the so-called black people is, they was Indian, supposed to be, not slaves, but it was prisoners of war. And it's us, because they reclassified our names to detach us from the land, because they was coming to take us from the land. See? They came to Florida. See, the Yamasee War, 1715, the Spanish slave raid. It was a raid. See, Spanish missions doubled as labor camps, indigenous people forced into Christianity or be enslaved. Survivors sold and or relocated. That's how they did all around America. They already set up slave camps. So that's why when they came to America, they were sending us over there to work in their sugar fields, their gold mines, and all those other slave camps they already had set up. Because those lands were already occupied and colonized. So why would they need to bring any fucking Africans to America for? They don't own no land. So the only Africans they brought was the fucking missionaries to help them Christianize us.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Most y'all around here playing around with this not like it don't matter. Cause you're like, oh, okay, I'm African. I don't care what nobody say. You're the reason why they're moving the goalposts. Y'all the reason why we cannot get this land back, cause y'all keep claiming some bullshit that we're not. Everybody in our business trying to get a piece of our pie. That's the fucking problem. That and this is what really kills me when y'all keep saying the word Africa. That land ain't even called Africa.
Facts.
Nigeria didn't even get his name to 1847. 1897. That's after the Civil War. How the hell you a Nigerian? How can you be African when the real name of that place is called El Kelbilan? As you see at the bottom, the name of Africa itself originated for the who? Greeks and the Romans, because they was colonized. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all don't even understand what the hell y'all be talking about. So every time you yell at Africa, that's a Greek, because they overtook them people and reclassified them as fucking Africans. Because they really from that place called El Kelbilans. These people are really Kelbilans. They're not even fucking African. Just they try to do to us. Oh. We are Indians, so they came to America and they called us black. They called us African American. They reclassified us. Them people ain't have no land. So they was coming to unalive people who wasn't Christians, take their land, reclassify them, and relocate them. They're all running around screaming, Africa, Africa, Africa. That's a damn colonized name. This is why my people can't get their land back, because y'all around here playing and spreading colonial lies. Just making up shit. When y'all know damn well the only people who were slaves in America was us. That ain't y'all. That ain't y'all. You see all the fucking evidence. Everybody in the world telling you who we are. The British told you, the French told you, Chinese people telling you, Asian people telling you, everybody in the world telling y'all guys that we are the original Indians of America. Y'all still saying, well, I don't see it. But we need y'all to wake up, but guess what? Some of y'all can't be helped. They know y'all not the same. And then I can pull up scientifically now that the American Indians, the so-called blacks, and Africans have different DNA structures.
Yes.
Different genomes and DNA sequences. We're not even the same people. I can go to another expert in Colonist Journal when he first pulled up the people he's seen. And guess what he said? They was wearing dreadlocks. Didn't I just tell you that dreadlocks is only indigenous to America? Who the people that still rock dreadlocks to this day? Us. Nobody else. And then guess what? We get it from our ancient ancestors. Because the Aztec wore the dreads as well. All Indian tribes wore dreads as well. Let me show you a picture. Gold teeth is indigenous Indian culture if you didn't know it. Yeah. You're going to learn today. And all this originates in America, not Africa. You ain't never see Africa wear gold teeth, long dreads, none of that unless they cosplaying.
They want to be us so bad. This is scary. What they won't do to us, to be us.
These are the people they found when they came to America. Right here. Gold crowns, gold rings, gold necklaces, gold teeth. As you see in his mouth, gold medallions. So the whole time, these people is not woke. So when y'all be seeing these black rappers with gold teeth and gold necklaces, and y'all wonder why? Because they're still living out their Indian culture and don't even know it consciously. I'll show you again. Gold teeth is only indigenous to America. I'll show you right now. And guess who hold gold teeth again? The Aztecs, the Indians. And who's still rocking it to this day? Us. Think about it, man. I'm showing you every clue from every angle. I don't know how you want to do it. I'm showing you geographically, featurely, hairly, teethly, code. I'm showing you everything. You ain't got to believe. I'm not in your life trying to tell you who you is. I'm just letting you know I'm here to wake up my people with the truth. We ain't part of that colonial bullshit. I only tell the truth on this live. That's it.
Shooting dice is an Indian culture.
You can come, but think about that, guys. Why would you need recognition from your killing? That don't make no sense, does it? The same people that enslaved you, giving you tribal recognition? How dumb does that sound? So you can understand that I want us to start saying, even insinuate that we was ever slaves, because we come from a rich history. Never slaves. We were enslaved, or they tried to enslave. You see what I'm saying? It's a big difference. How in the fuck can we be slaves when Benjamin Benedict wrote the almanac of the world? Make it make sense. American-born Indian right here in your face. He mapped out the whole planet.
Yes.
But he a slave? Y'all got to start with this bullshit narrative, man, about our people. So how can we be a slave? And he wrote an almanac in 1795. You see the dreads coming out the back? Those are our ancient significations that we are not Africans, because dreads are only indigenous to the Americas. But I'm going to show y'all the first statue of Florida. Why is that a black Indian right there? Help me understand. How come we own the statues of this land? How? You see the dreads coming out the back?
Moorish an accident. The Titanic wasn't an accident. It was a targeted hit on the indigenous Moorish nobility. Don't believe me? Go look up Joseph Philippe Lemercier La Roche, a black engineer from the Lecointe political dynasty, traveling first class during the Titanic era. The original Jacob Astor, Isidor Straus, and Guggenheim were originally all Moors. But of course, they only show you the pale version. They bleached the history to hide the Moorish tenure of the land. But the bloodline is the Grail. Why'd they do it? Because these titans were against the establishment of the League of Nations and the plan of experts designed to seize world treasuries. Look up Paul Cuff, ship owner and global merchant, before the U.S. even knew what it was. Look up Madam C.J. Walker and Aurelia Walker, controlling millions, property, factories, and social power. Look up Robert Reed Church Sr., black millionaire of the South. You think we were just slaves off boats? How, Sway? I'm showing you the receipts they hid. Black aristocrats in the Titanic era. Families with land, gold, ships, and banks. We weren't begging, we were building empires. That's why the Titanic wasn't just a tragedy, it was a targeted hit. Connect the dots. The truth ain't lost, it's been buried, and I'm here to dig it up. They love to say Joseph LaRoche was the only black man on the Titanic, but that's only because they already whitewashed the rest. The original Astors, Guggenheims, Strausses, and LeConte bloodlines were Moors long before their portraits were corrected and their history rewritten. Once America and Europe adopted the bleaching of nobility, any elite family was painted over, literally and legally. So when the Titanic sank, they could safely call La Roche the only one, because they hid the truth of the others. The whole narrative depends on Moors being erased from high society, because if the world learns black families sat at the top of global finance, diplomacy, and science, the slave story collapses overnight. La Roche wasn't the only one. He was just the only one they couldn't erase.
Growing number of black Californians are claiming their American Indian roots. Mr. Kelly discovered that his great-great-grandfather was a registered Cherokee on the Dow's Rolls. So you're not the only one that's feeling this awakening. And y'all gonna run to y'all mother's side of the family, okay? You're gonna gather all the information you can. Dow's Rolls, birth certificates, death certificates. You want old Social Security cards, old ID cards. My grandmother even had her Red Cross card with her blood type. Anything that you can find that the elders had that show that you are either Indian, Negro, or colored. Then you're gonna go and create a family tree affidavit. I like to call it an affidavit of genealogy, or you can call it a genealogy affidavit. Either way, y'all sit around, y'all fill it out, go get it notarized, and then download the SF 181 form from the Social Security Administration's website. Remember, you're correcting your status, so you're not gonna mark African American. If you see right here, African American, will have you sent to Africa, and they are deporting people. You can take it to the Social Security office, tell them that you're there to correct your status. Once you fill out the SF 181 form, you can take it to the Social Security office, or you can do like this brother did right here.
Peace and blessings. This is Jamar Deshaun Porter, and I'm currently at the Arkansas Revenue Department going to get my state ID race changed to American Native Indian Indigenous. I am now leaving the Arkansas Revenue Office, and I have got my ethnicity changed, and I have a new driver's license. I'm currently downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'm at the Social Security office to change my status and my ethnicity, and also to give me a new Social Security card. I'm trying to get a new Social Security card, and I'm trying to do a status change for like my ethnicity.
Address at the top.
Okay.
Was that cookie good?
That's it. That's it. Did you try? Was you be able to try? You did?
I mean, it's not technically doing it like that. It's not gonna change nothing major because it's like you were taking a test and you filled it out. That's the same thing on our system.
Yeah, I just had to make sure. I got to go do the big step now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. My name is Jamar Deshaun Porter. I am currently at Fletcher Terry Library sending off SF 181 form with attached documents as follows: FJR 194, motu proprio, Pope's apology to the Americans, Pope's message of peace, an American Declaration of Rights to Indigenous People. The date is October 16, 2023. I have a following of 21 copies of it. I'm faxing this to the SSA Office of International Affairs and also to OMB. The documents is as follows. I have the SF 181. I want to show you that because it has vital information on it. No longer slave, the Pope Francis, peace of day, message of holiness, the motu proprio, and the House of Representatives in U.S., the American Declaration of Rights to Indigenous People. I'm gonna fax it off one step further to, walking in our true identity. Let's do it.
For the confirmation email, we'll print that out when it comes in, and then you can pay for it. About 14 minutes. So I was.
Well, I appreciate it, brother, man. Thank you for everything. You too. Yes, Lord. We are done. You know what I'm saying? The facts went through. Everything is good, man. We got to wait till the confirmation, but we all there, man. Indigenous, Native American, you know what I'm saying? Native American Indian, so that's what it is. All praise to Yahweh, man. My ancestors, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, they stepped in these trenches. You know, I stepped in these trenches, big chief, you know what I'm saying?